We are built for uncertainty. We are built for tough times. We are made for adversity.
When you make a decision to be better, when you make a decision to do more and to be more,
we must put on that suit of armor. We must disconnect ourselves and stop being prisoners to the sadness, to the fear. And these battles that we must face has different stories connected to it. These battles that we face each and every day of our lives has many things that sometimes we just don't feel that we're prepared for. We must find a way in an understanding that this thing that we are dealing with right now in our lives is only temporary. It's temporary and it will not last forever. You must realize that you must grow enough tenacity within yourself to press on. We are all going to face many battles in our lives, and some of these battles we will not always win these days.
And we are more powerful together than any enemy we will ever face. We are bigger than this. We will get through this. We are stronger than this. As long as we play our part. You can either be a part of the problem or a part of the solution. You will either help the situation, not only your situation, but the situation of the people in your life and the people on this planet, or you won't. So quiet the fear, quiet the worry, quiet the anxiety, quiet the stress, quiet the frustration, quiet that voice in your mind that tells you that you can't get through this, that things will get worse, that maybe you're just not strong enough. Quiet that voice, quiet the doubt. Don't let the thoughts that you can't handle this take up any access space in your mind.
What did you want your life to be like? She goes, well, it sounds stupid. I said, it's not gonna sound stupid to me. She said, well, I don't know. I just always, since I was a little girl, dreamed that I would be married and I would have 3 basically perfect children and they would love me totally, and I loved my husband, he'd love me. And I said, okay, so how's that working for you so far? And she said, well, I think you know, she's a pretty famous person. She said, I'm divorced twice, I have no children, and I'm now X age. And to give you a clue, that age would be an age where having a child, your own natural child at least, barring a medical miracle, is not going to happen. So I said to her, well, why don't you just adopt? She goes, no, that's not it. And so what I had to dig under is, remember we talked in one of the earlier sessions about there's the surface problem and then there's the deeper desire or need. So I said to her, I said, well,
hello and welcome to your day, a day of fulfillment, a day of opportunity, a day of opportunities or challenges that may come your way. What are your expectations? What is it that you ultimately want? Where are you looking to do? It is time for you to stop wandering in the wilderness and start focusing on the journey at and pushing yourself forward and working as hard as you can. It's only a fraction of what this journey is going to be all about. Will you be prepared? Are you prepared? Will you accept the fact that your birth was no accident?
Quiet those voices and raise the volume on hope. Raise the volume on courage. Raise the volume on progress. That is what we are made for. We are built for progress. We are made to move forward. No matter what happens to us, we are designed and will always find a way to move forward. We always find a way to define the odds, as daunting as they may seem. We are built to weather the storms that life throws at us. That is what we are made for, and we can get through this. We will get through this. We can win, and we will win together.
You filed bankruptcy and you stopped moving? You got fired and you stopped? Did you get divorced and you just stopped moving? You got cut and you just stopped? When my basketball career was over, I didn't stop moving. Why? Because I'm a shark.
what if you couldn't have the husband, but you could have the kids? And she smiled and she said, I'd take that. I said, well, why not adopt a kid? She goes, no, it has to be my own blood children. So I kept digging to find out what was behind her blueprint. Because your blueprint is just a projection of what you think you need to be happy. But as human beings, we're notoriously ineffective at knowing it's going to make us happy. So much that we think we're going to make us happy, we get there and we go, is this all there is? So many things that we think are going to make us miserable and we can never deal with, we go through it and we can handle it. We're not good at projecting these things. All kinds of studies will show this. So I said to her, well, what are you hoping to get from these 3 children? Why do they have to be your blood children? And she finally said, well, if they're my blood children, I know they'll always love me. They'll never leave me. What was she looking for? Unconditional love. She had this big blueprint that said, White House, picket fence, 3 children, perfect husband, all these different things. But what was behind that was a need to feel like she could have love that would be certain and wouldn't go away.
What makes life so unique and so beautiful? It is beautiful because whatever you have that you may be facing, what you may be dealing with, life is still good. Life has so many moving parts, but life is always good. Every day is a new day and another opportunity that others may not have. This life that you have been given, this life that you are temporarily holding on to, this life that has been just given to you for only temporary reasons, has more meaning than you can ever imagine. So many people in the world take life for granted instead of realizing that you have to take the opportunity to live it.
Because it's going to be a forever company. It's not something we're looking to just build up and sell. And so if it's going to be a forever company, what are the things it would have to accommodate? And for me, there are 2 pandemics that I believe is my calling to address. Pandemic 1 is the pandemic of the body. You got people 200-300 pounds overweight and they're dying of malnutrition. Really impacted my family. I've already lost people that I love to food, essentially. Didn't want to lose more. But the other is the pandemic of the mind. And you've got people who, on the sort of bright and cheery side of the spectrum, just feel lost, feel that the system is corrupt and broken. And having gone from scrounging in my couch cushions to find enough change to put gas in my car to, fantastic wealth, all through hard work, discipline, learning to get the timing right, all that stuff, I realized that it is the mindset that's holding them back. And I want to know what happens to the world if we find the next 1,000 Elon Musks.
Self-discipline comes when you decide that you're going to make a mark on the world. And if you think that you're not disciplined or you can't be disciplined, it's because you haven't yet decided to be disciplined. It's because you haven't created that discipline yet. So make the decision, make the commitment. Discipline, the root quality that will improve every aspect of your life. And it'll make you better and stronger and smarter and faster and healthier. And most important,
like what happens, I've worked a lot in the inner cities from, I big brothered for 8 years when I was younger and saw what it really, really means to grow up hard. And I big brothered for this kid who was adopted and being abused. And I was the ward of the court when they took him away from his family and saw him through that. So I've seen like the real impacts of generational poverty. And then when we were doing manufacturing in the inner cities, again, working with people that just really, really have suffered at the hands of what I call generational poverty, which is a mindset. It has nothing to do with money. I mean, it echoes in money because they don't understand it and they don't know how to escape that sort of vicious cycle of keep your head down, do as little work as possible, and avoid punishment. But so that I wanted to be able to do that, and I feared that I wasn't going to be able to make the two gel, and that it would be bolting something on to this thriving, beautiful, amazing business. I didn't want to confuse it, but for me, like that's a must in my life.
It'll make you free.
There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. If you want to take the easy road, I promise you it's longer and more painful than the hard road. I know. I've lived it. I've ventured down the easy road at times in my life, and it never led to anywhere good. The positive things in my life always came when I faced the biggest challenges. I joined the Navy. I took the hard road in the Navy and made it into the SEAL teams. There, I had the honor of leading men in combat. I learned some lessons along the way, lessons that have been tested on the battlefield and when implemented lead to success in any arena. One of the best things I've learned is that anyone has what it takes to travel the hard road.
There are many different animals, creatures that roam throughout this desert, and things out here get eaten or they eat. And you have to ask yourself, which one are you? Because no matter what's going on out here, the art of survival is to survive, to live, and that's what these animals do. So what kind of animal are you? Are you really hungry? Are you driven? Are you determined? Do you want it? Are you going to do everything that is necessary to get it? Because there's no pity out here in this desert if you don't go after what it is that you are seeking to satisfy your hunger.
Are you willing to dig a little bit deeper? Are you willing to bury the things that are not making you strong?
So right now, allow yourself that, simply to dream.
As Joseph Campbell said,
Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain.
Many of you are denied your dream and your goal because you have a consistency versus an intensity problem.
You have to understand the significance. And while you're running, don't run away from the challenges. Don't run away because it's not going the way you want it to go. Run with a full heart. Run with everything you have in your heart, get your legs moving and run. Sometimes you may ask yourself, how fast can I run? How fast can I get to my destination? But you have to also understand, when you're running, you've got to have in your mind that you've got to pace yourself. You've got to be able to pay attention. When you're running, because while you're running, there are going to be obstacles around you, and these obstacles are going to be put in place that may try to distract you. But you've got to keep running.
The dead doesn't believe in positivity. When you're dead inside, that means there's nothing powerful coming behind it. There's nothing powerful or productive or positive because you're too busy being dead inside. Life. Speak it. Believe it. Stand on it. Be strong in it. Action. Make sure you're giving 110% of that. Make sure you're standing strong on it. If you want to get something out of your life, ladies and gentlemen, keep moving. Don't give up on you, man. Because there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand the significance of what it means. Go after it right now.
Now I get it. Life inevitably comes with some degree of misery, and I get it. For many of you, things have happened in your past that are unspeakable. And whether that's something big or whether it's something small, each one of us has something inside of us that hurts. It's something that we wish weren't so. It's something that we focus on when we're alone. It's the thing that keeps us up at night. It's the thing that wakes us up in the morning. It's the thing that we obsessively come back to over and over and over for whatever reason that we think means that we're not good enough. But I also know that inside each one of us is something beautiful, that even in the midst of pain, if you allow yourself to focus on that.
Focus on everything you have within your body and your mind. Do it with a full heart. Stop with the excuses. Stop holding on to things that's not going to make you better, that's not going to make you strong. Be the best of yourself. Believe in it. Stand on it. Be strong in it. And put those actions to work. Everybody's not hungry enough. And if you're not hungry, you're not going to satisfy yourself. And even when you feel that you're satisfied, find something else. You should never be satisfied. You should never be okay. Being okay doesn't mean that that's the right way to go. When things start to get easy, find something else that's going to challenge you. When things start to feel like you can't carry on, find another reason to get out of that situation and find another way to go further. When people are trying to pull you down, get away from them, disconnect yourself, and put the action in and go after what's necessary to make you better.
To feel the joy, to not just think about it, but to actually feel the joy. It will begin to crowd out the pain. It will actually take that room. And just like when you're trying to create something amazing in your life, do not waste time trying to tear down the old. If you're trying to create something beautiful in your life, spend all of your time trying to build that new thing. So if you want to feel joy, don't try to eradicate the pain. Instead, focus all of your energy on that joy and let it become so bright that it ultimately takes over the pain. And as Aristotle said, it is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see light. And that's the thing with pleasure and pain. When you've got that ache inside of you, when you feel that something in your past is stopping you from moving forward, it is in that moment that you must put your focus and attention on the things that are good, on the things that you've done that are good.
Some days you're going to be slow, and some days you just got to be fast. But make sure when you're running, you got that mindset in the right place. Don't be reckless, be productive in it, and understand that it means something. Recognize your beliefs. Recognize your drive. Don't concern yourself with things that doesn't concern your best, because if you're not giving your best, then the rest will catch up to you, so stay ahead of the pack. And don't slack, because it will only push you back. Continue the journey and keep your eyes on the prize. Your rewards are waiting for you. You don't want to be the slowest one on the track.
Direct subordinate's one of my guys that worked for me. He would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good. And I said, well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted.
Consistency is when you do something. Intensity is how you do something. And that's why many of you, no matter what you do, no matter how much you do it, no matter who you looking at, no matter what you read, you gonna be denied, because you think that just being consistent at something is gonna let you win. That earns you the right to win. That I'm being denied that corner office. I'm being denied that car. I'm being denied this quality of life. I'm being denied that opportunity, this scholarship. I keep getting cut off the team. You know, if I just keep practicing, and I just stay around this team, sooner or later I'll make it. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because consistency does not guarantee you the win.
You got to be the one that's thinking, but don't take too much time. Fake it too much, but understanding that you have to commit to why you're running is good, but you got to walk a little bit first. You got to walk a little bit so you can understand what's about to happen to you. You got to walk a little bit so when it's time to put the pedal to the metal, you got your head up and you thriving and you strike. And you move so fast that nothing around you can stop you. So don't be late for the celebration of your victory. Because your victory belongs to you, no one else. Take pride in it, believe in it, stand on it, earn it.
Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learn. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, now, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage.
Many of you, as bad as you don't want to accept this, you're never gonna win. Because you're not intense enough. Till you get intense to the point that nothing will get in your way. That you will not get in your way. You'll never win.
Focus on you. Why are you here? What is your destiny? One of the greatest tragedies in life is to live and not know why you're living. If you're walking on this earth today, prepare yourself for many battles. Ahead, you're not going to win every battle, because every battle is not meant to be one. Sometimes you're going to need to humble yourself. What do you believe about you?
Now, this is really important. That field of toxicity, that field of hurt, that old pain, that old anger, that old frustration from all the things that you've experienced in a human life that hurt you. It's invisible. And yet the people around you are feeling it. It's creating self-sabotage because your psychology is saying go out and be legendary, and yet this invisible field of hurt is saying I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm not enough. There's all this self-hatred. And so this is the missing link to personal transformation, because we get it intellectually in terms of our mindset. We know what we need to do to be exponentially creative, productive, elite performers, to have lives full of prosperity, but we get it in the head and we miss it in the heart, because society does not teach us how to purify our heart sets. And so what I wanted to do, and let me just quickly say, the third interior empire is your health set. And of course that's important, because energy and vitality is necessary for world class heart set. So I want to offer you a primary principle to start the work or continue the work if you're already doing it on your heart set. And this has helped me tremendously. It's helped me shift from being a machine in the world, endlessly creative, endlessly productive, endlessly focusing on my high value targets, endlessly achieving, to being much more of a human being. Someone who sees his work as his craft, someone who sees himself much more of an artist than an exponential producer, someone who understands that real creativity, real productivity, living a real life is a series of seasons. I was running on the treadmill the other day and I was looking out at a forest and I thought, the trees do not resist the seasons. The trees do not tell you, oh, it's winter time. I don't like this. I need to be in the summer. The trees just roll with what is. And what I'm suggesting to you is, as you start to purify your heart set, you become much braver in terms of feeling the cycles of creativity and the natural order of life.
Conditions for what you want to achieve. You want to build a big life. You want to build, a big business. You want to become more physically fit. You want to build better relationships. You're here to learn how to be better. And to be better, you have to first realize something that is paramount to long-term success in life. And it's this: conditions will never be perfect, ever. Okay. And a lot of people, me included, for a long time, sat around and waited for the stars to align or the sea to part or for everything to be perfect for me to just go. And if it wasn't perfect, I'd come up with a justification, right? For example, I'm using my fitness as an example for you guys. When I was 350 pounds and completely unhealthy, not training, not doing my workouts, I would, tell myself, I'd look outside and I'd see, that it wasn't, 70 degrees and sunny. And I would come up with this little story about how it's cold and I'll start tomorrow. Or if it was raining, dude, you know what? I'll just do some sit-ups and push-ups, knowing damn well that the sit-ups and push-ups isn't what the fuck I needed to do. I needed to get my fat ass out on the road and fucking move. Okay? What I'm talking about here is justifying our lack of action based upon the external circumstances. And this is something that every single one of you listening, if you understand and if you accept and just say, this is the way it is, your life will get exponentially easier for you to win. All right. So you have to understand that when you look outside, or you look at whatever it is with your business, or you look at whatever it is with your relationship, whatever these things are that you're trying to do, there are going to be wave after wave after wave after wave of inconvenient shit that hits you in the motherfucking face. All right. That doesn't matter. People who win regardless of those waves. It's not that they don't have those waves. It's that they say, hey, I can't control what the fuck is going on. All I control is what I decide in my mind and the actions I take. Some days are going to be harder than others. Some days are going to be a little easier than others. But I can promise you one fucking thing for sure. There will never, ever, ever be a day that goes exactly as you want it to go. It doesn't exist. So with that being said, if you're going to wait around for perfect circumstances, how can you ever accomplish anything?
See, in life, there are always two voices vying for your attention. The voice of faith and the voice of defeat. You'll hear a voice saying, like I did, problem's too big. It's not going to work out. Just accept it. You'll be tempted to worry, to be negative, to complain. But if you listen carefully, you'll hear another voice, the voice of faith, saying God has a way. Favor is coming. Healing is coming. Breakthroughs are coming. One voice will tell you, you've reached your limits. You've gone as far as you can. You don't have what it takes. The other voice, you are well able. You can do all things through Christ. Your best days are still in front of you. Now here's the beauty. You get to choose which voice comes to life. The way you do it is by what you speak. When you verbalize that thought, you're giving it the right to come to pass. If you go around saying, the problem's too big, I'll never get well, you are agreeing with the wrong voice. You've got to get in agreement with God. The other voice may seem louder, but you can override it. You can take away all of its power by choosing the voice of faith. Maybe you're going to a job interview. One voice will tell you, you're not going to get it. You're wasting your time. These people are not going to like you. Another voice will say, you have the favor of God. You're blessed. You're confident. You have what it takes. But if you get up that morning and tell your spouse, I don't think I'm going to get this job. They're not going to like me. I'm not qualified. There's no use even going. You're being trapped by your words. You have to dig your heels in and say, I am not giving life to any more defeat. I am not speaking lack. I'm not speaking sickness. I'm not speaking mediocrity, not enough. I'm going to choose the voice of faith. It says I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm blessed, I'm favored. I am a victor, not a victim. This is what David did. When he faced Goliath, it looked impossible. All the odds were against him. If he would have verbalized his negative thoughts, that would have kept him from his destiny. Even though he was anointed to be king, those negative words would have kept him trapped in the shepherd's fields. He could have easily gone around saying, well, I know I'm supposed to face Goliath, but look at him. He's twice my size. He's got more experience, more equipment, more talent. I don't see how this is ever going to work out. You can talk yourself out of your destiny. Negative words can keep you from becoming who you were created to be. Don't fall into that trap. Quit calling in defeat. Quit talking about how it's not going to happen. You can pray in faith. Ask God to turn it around, to do the impossible.
And today I want to talk about something else. That you want to live like a warrior and die a legend. What do you mean by that? Well, one of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life because you're depriving yourself, your family, and the world that you came here to do something. That's why we're told constantly in the book of life, be of good courage, because there's stuff that's going to happen that requires that you have courage, that you stand up inside yourself and face it and handle it. Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run, but there are few that in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise with courage. And that's who you are. That's why you're listening to me now, because there's something you want to do. And when you're going outside of your comfort zone, it takes courage. Most people, the majority of people, die within their comfort zone. They're not risk takers. They go through life trying to play it safe. Let me share something with you. There's no safe position in life. If we don't know anything else, if we have not learned anything else from the coronavirus, there's no safe position in life. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. And so this is a time that you want to live your life full and do the things that you think about. Sure, you want to keep social distancing from people and from particularly toxic, negative, energy draining people. You want to keep social distance from them. Why? Because people rub off on you. But you're here to do the greater work. You're here to do something. You've got to live life like you mean it. When I decided to speak, I went at it hard because I didn't want to be just a speaker. I wanted to be a speaker that stood out, that made a national and global impact. And you can do that too. That's why you're listening to me. You have some talent, you have some knowledge, you have some experiences. You've seen some stuff. And there's some things in you don't want to take to your grave with you. So when you live like a warrior, you live courageously. You're fearless. Here's something else. When you live like a warrior, you honor your commitment. Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live a life that's different than the life that you lived in 2020, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And you know, as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry. And a lot of people are worried right now. Oh, the new virus coming and it's even more lethal and spreads easier. Okay, got that. All right. And you got to eat. You got to pay the rent. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to pay the car note. I learned a long time ago the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. Come on. Yeah. But you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to die for a job. No. If somebody asks you, hey, sign here, and in the event you get sick, you go on sue us. Do I look like Mr. Kadumbo? No. Create something else. Life is saying no. Don't put your life on the line saying, oh, I got to eat. I can either starve to death or I sign this and risk dying and leaving my family so they can starve without me. No, you can create something else. You have other options. Don't be limited in your thinking. I did that for years, because I knew radio. I did it extremely well. And when I was fired, I was dumbfounded. What am I going to do now? Guess what? Learn something new. That's what. If you're willing to learn. See, most people aren't willing to learn. That's why I say, well, if I don't sign this agreement, my family will die. They'll just starve to death. Are you kidding me? Come on now. No, don't sign anything that says that if you get sick, they're not liable, because they know that there's a high risk that you might get sick and they want you to be on your own. If you don't learn anything else, remember the name Herman Cain, who was sitting on the front row at a rally, proud, no mask. When he got back to Atlanta, he had to go to the hospital. He said, no big deal. And now he's out of here 5 days later. They don't even mention his name. You talk about proud and involved on radio every day promoting the right. They don't mention his name as if he did not exist. This life is challenging us. In life, when you don't have enough courage or insight, intelligence, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on, life moves on you. I'd outgrown radio. And now I can come on anytime I want and you can see me too. So you got to put your foot down. You got to get an attitude because, see, we're all basically the same. We're all basically the same. The only thing that separates us are our habits. I wanted something different for myself. I wanted something different for my mother. I did not want my mother working once I turned 18. So I made a commitment that I was going to generate enough money with my voice, with my story, in radio and then in speaking to take care of my mother. You've got some talent. You've got something in you. There's a reason that God chose you out of 400 million sperm. You think you're just here to work on a job, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, a car note, and then die? Come on, give me a break. No. You're here to do the greater work. You know it's true. You can deny it if you want to. I don't know how low your consciousness is. I know some people, no matter what I say, they're not going to hear me. The state of consciousness they're in, this message is not for everybody. That's why Jesus said, he who has ear, let him hear. Let her hear. And the people that can hear me, if you can hear me in your heart, not in your ear, I'm not challenging you and your hearing aid. No. I'm saying what's in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. When you live like a warrior, you are vigilant, you are courageous, you take initiative, you are ambitious, you have an expanded vision of yourself. You're going to take some chances on you. You're going to bet on you. You don't settle for any and everything when you're a warrior. And you got to be in fight mode.
When was the last time you embraced and accepted your true feelings? When was the last time you stared at your reflection in the mirror and thanked yourself for making it this far? We've all been through tough times in our lives where we've made bad decisions. And sometimes things have happened completely out of our control, but we still blame ourselves. Loving yourself might be one of the hardest things to do because we tend to want to be perfect. We often worry about what other people think about us. We often feel not enough with our appearance, weight, skin conditions, and so many things that look like flaws. But imperfections make us different and special, don't they? You need to love yourself as much as you love others. You are someone who brings you to this stage of life, someone you should treat with kindness and compassion. You need to stop blaming yourself because something didn't happen as planned. Stop looking at the mirror and blaming yourself because you feel not good enough. And please stop comparing yourself to someone you see through social media. The only person who has the right to be compared to who you are today is who you were in the past. When we have become better versions than who we were in the past, that's enough. Don't be too hard on yourself, because the world has been hard enough while teaching us to survive. There will always be criticism and negative comments that could bring you down, and whatever you do, something always looks wrong for some people. But darling, you were not born to be perfect, and it's not your job to fulfill everyone's expectation. You are born to be you, and there is only you in this world. No matter what people say about you, it doesn't define you and won't determine your destiny. To love yourself is to develop a sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance of who you are and what you feel and for what you're passionate about. It gives you the courage to accept yourself with all weaknesses. When you focus on yourself with love and compassion and ignore what other people think about you, you actually eliminate a lot of negativities from your surroundings, which ultimately take you out of depression. Now, your main focus is to put yourself above all blame and negativity. You're working on your development and growth, and you're near to your success. Every mistake or failure we go through teaches us something. We can learn from anything and everything that we do.
Sometimes, okay, most of the time, it doesn't feel that way. But if you really delve deep into the situation, you'll get an answer to a question you never even knew you needed to ask. So instead of blaming yourself for this mistake, start really thinking about what you learned from it and how you can take it forward in your life. Once you start looking at it from this angle, then you can focus on taking that lesson with you and growing from it. You will carry on making mistakes, but you'll carry on learning. Just as long as you remember to look at it from a more positive point of view, then you can move on quicker. I like to think it didn't happen to you. It happened for you. Just that small change of perception turns it around, so always keep it in mind. We all make mistakes. Remember this. There is not one human on this planet that has never made a mistake. Everyone has had something happen to them that they feel they could have prevented. Even the people that your mistake may have affected have also been through something similar. It is unfair to get yourself down about something that is just a normal part of life. I wouldn't be writing this if I thought I was the only one making mistakes. We all do it, and that's okay. We are not robots. Sometimes we say things we don't mean or do things without thinking. Does that make us bad people? No, we are good people. And even the best people make bad choices sometimes. That's life. The sooner you accept that failure is what makes us human, those little mistakes will no longer absorb all of your energy and mental space. You need to move on. If you want to continue with your life and just focus on building a future to be proud of, you can't have these issues holding you back. You want to move on, don't you? You don't want to carry on feeling this guilt or shame. You need to do everything in your power to put this behind you and to reach your true you with nothing holding you back. Think of a person that is totally at peace with themselves. They have finally got to the top of their game. They're living a fulfilled life and are confident and so comfortable in their skin. Do you think they ever made mistakes before? Of course they did. But do you think they gripped that mistake and took it forward with them? No. They let it go and used it to better themselves and move on. Lastly, it's love that reveals your true strengths before you in the world. So love yourself first. Loving yourself tells you how magnificent you are and makes you realize that you're the only one who can support you the most in your time of need. You're the one who is the best well-wisher of yourself than anyone. You're the only one who is the best healer of yourself than any other healers. So let yourself wallow for a little. Feel your emotions for a while. But at the end of the day, shake it off and keep moving. Use the strength you know you have deep down to push yourself into an amazing future.